Hello everyone, welcome to part 8 of Python Pandas. Today we are going to look into indexing using Reindex function and then we will have some questions. Okay, so without much delay, let's get started. Reindexing in a Python can be used to change the index of rows and columns. That means the labels which are already given, we can change them. Previously we have used rename function to relabel the indexes, and today we are going to see reindex function, how it can be used to change it. The working is a little bit different, so let us have an example and look into how it functions. So now two packages which we need for this example are pandas and numpy, and you can see we have two lists, one for column and one for row indexes. So columns have small a, b, c, d, e, and or index have a, capital B, C, D, and E respectively. Then we have used DataFrame function to create a data frame from numpy random.rend 5 into 5. Okay, so basically this will create a two-dimensional data frame of 5 into 5, yani 5 rows and 5 columns with specified column labels and specified row labels, and then we have printed this. So on my machine my result is like this. You can see in the left hand side I have the first output which represents this line, and then I have a second piece of an index which returns another data frame df1.reindex, and I have supplied a new index value for my rows. Originally I was having a, b, c, d, e, and then I have changed it to specified list a, d, a, c, e. You can see. Okay, so let us see this in our Jupyter notebook. We are going to create import, let's say pandas as pd, import numpy as np, and let us have some columns. Value column is equals to, let's say, a comma b comma, let's say, c comma, let's say, d, and we have e. Okay, similarly we have index is equals to, let's say, a range or range, and I'm going to use a list range function, 5 elements, so 1 to 5, and then close. So I'm having a row labels as well as column labels. Now I must be creating my data frame. For this we will be using numpy frame, numpy dot random dot rend 5 comma 5. So this will create my two-dimensional numpy array with 5 rows and 5 columns, and which we have passed to our data frame as a data. Okay, and then we can supply column is equals to column, and index is equals to index. So I am ready with my data frame. Let's say print df1. So let's do this. Okay, so my data frame is already created. I will reindex it using reindex. So df1 dot reindex, I must be supplying a new reindex list. So that will be, let's say, 4, then 5, then 1, then 3, and then 2. Okay, so I have order numbers between 1 to 4. Okay, so let's see how it prints. Now as you can notice my original list was 1 2 3 4 5 in a sequence, but after reindexing I am having a random ordered row index. Okay, this is how row index works. Now let us see another example where I supply some indexes which are not present. Okay, for instance, I am having this 10 well 3, the third row, which is not present in my original index. You can see rule 3 is present but 10 is not present. Let us try to execute it and see what happens. So now you can see my unmatched index is left and a new index value contains NaN. Okay, so you have to remember, if you supply a list of indexes which are not present in our original data frame, then the new row is created, but all the values are initialized to NaN, that is not a number. Okay, so let us get back to our presentation and see. So as we have discussed in previous example, this slide is also telling you that only default value in a new index that are not present in a data frame are assigned none. That we have already seen. Here you can see in this example also U and Z are the values or the indexes which are not present in our original data frame. So in U and Z index values, for U and Z row index values, we are having NaN. Okay, so let's move towards our next topic, that is reindexing the column using access keyword. To reindex the column, we can use our access parameter, keyword parameter is equals to, and we can specify the value as string columns, right? So now this column list will be applied to your column labels. Okay, so let us see one by one what we have done. We have imported two packages, pandas and number, and then we have column and row labels for our data frame, and then we have created a data frame as earlier, np.random.rand, which gives you 5 into 5 two-dimension numpy array, and which is passed to data frame to create a data frame. And then we have specified column labels and row labels. Okay, if you don't know how to create a data frame, I will leave a link in a description. You can always go through and come back again. So now here what we have did, df1.reindex, I have specified newly created list which contains all the similar elements like A, B, C, D, E. All the elements are present but are in different order, and we have supplied another parameter, access is equals to columns. So in this case, instead of reindexing the rows, columns are reindexed. Okay, so let us try to do it in our IDE. I must be having a list call is equals to, let's say we have B first, and then E, then let's say A, and then let's say C, and finally we have D. Okay, and let us try to reindex this time. Reindex, and then we can supply column and specify access is equals to columns. And let us try to execute this piece of a code. Now you can see my columns are, or column indexes are rearranged. Now what if I try to print df1? Okay, now as you can see, this reindex gives you a new data frame. It do not changes the column index in the original data frame. Let us jump to our next topic, which says default value in the new index that are not present in a data frame are assigned none. As we have seen in case of row indexing, that whenever we supply any new index values, then all the rows its value are assigned none. Similarly, in column also, if we supply a new index which are not present in our original data frame, then all the column values can contain nulls. Okay, let us try this in our IDE. So we have already a data frame. Okay, you can see our data frame is, let's say df1 is equals to reindex, so that I am getting the value. So my data frame is this. Now I am going to supply a new column index values, and let's say in place of C and D we have G and E, G and X. Okay, so my new column indexes which are not present in our original data frame are G and X, and let us try to reindex this. Okay, allow me to copy this piece of a code which will save our time, and then let us execute this one, df1. Now so you can see G and X are assigned as null. Hope you got this. Let us move to our presentation and see what next. Now we have seen if we supply a new column or a new row, data frames new column values are always assigned null, but we can change this behavior by supplying fill underscore value parameter. Okay, now we are going to see this in this example. We have already created a data frame, and now you can see print statement where we have used reindex column access is equals to columns, comma, I have supplied another additional parameter fill underscore value is equals to 1.5. Okay, so what it does, it will give you 1.5 to all the newly created columns. Okay, so let us see this in our notebook. Allow me to copy my previous code and see. Let's do this. G and H are my new values, and this time I must supply fill underscore values, so value equals to, let's say, 6.8. okay, so let's try to print this data frame as well, and now you can see my newly created columns have 6.8 as a default value. Okay, now we are going to see one more thing, that is we are going to create another data frame. df2 is equals to pd.DataFrame. Let's create a new data frame from numpy dot random dot rend is equals to 5 into 5. Let's say 5 comma 5. So I have 5 by 5 columns, and specify columns is equals to, let's say, A, let's say X, C, and D, and let's say E. So I'm having only one column which is not matched with our data frame 1, and let us try to print this data frame 2. So now you can see both my data frames. Now what I am going to do is say df1 dot reindex underscore like. So I'm teaching you another function which is reindex underscore like, and specify my newly created data frame which has one column as one mismatching column. Okay, so let us try to execute this one and see the result. So now you can see I'm having a previous data frame, that is data frame 1 B E A C D, and in place of B I'm having X, and values are initialized to NaN. Similarly, I'm having row index is equals to 0 1 2 3, and I'm having 1 2 3 in df1. So you can see I'm having one mismatched row index, and for that also I'm getting NaN. Okay, so reindex underscore like is a function which allows you to reindex data frame like another data frame, but you have to be cautious. If row or column indexes are mismatched, then all the values in these new indexes are assigned as null. Okay, rest are taken from the previous data frame. Hope this is clear to you. So now you have learned how to reindex data frame like other data frame. This concludes our topic. Hope you have learned and enjoyed the session. See you soon with another topic. Till then, goodbye. Have a nice day.